What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Inside Jays podcast. I'm your host, Tyler, and in this video, we're going to be reacting and talking about the game two between the Toronto Blue Jays and the Cleveland Guardians, where the Blue Jays end up blowing a late lead and falling by a final score of 5-3. I managed to catch the end of this game. I believe I turned it on. I want to say seventh inning. So when I turned it on, it was already 3-0 Blue Jays. Um, Kevin Gosman had just uh, ended the inning with his ninth strikeout of the game, and I was actually really thinking, man, Jays are really on it. Not only today, but they are looking really good. And then managed to finish watching the game, and then obviously in the top of the ninth, that is when things got blown. But let's go ahead and dive right into it. Um, the Toronto Blue Jays blew a winnable game on Saturday afternoon. The Blue Jays played their second of three games against the Cleveland Guardians, falling 5-3 to the American League Central team to snap their three-game win streak. Things started well for the Blue Jays. On the first pitch, the team saw Bo Bichette hit his first home run of the season to give the Jays a 1-0 lead. They added another run in the bottom of the third thanks to Nathan Lucas's walk with the bases loaded. In the bottom of the fifth, Tyler Heineman hit a sacrifice fly to give the Jays a 3-0 lead. It looked as if the Jays were going to coast to their fourth consecutive win and move above 500, but Daniel Schneemann hit a solo home run in the top of the eighth to make it a 3-1 game. Schneemann's next turn to bat in the top of the ninth was with the bases loaded. He received a fastball in the middle of the zone from Jimmy Garcia, driving in 4 runs with the swing of the bat for the 5-3 lead. The Blue Jays went quietly in the bottom of the ninth and lost the game. Let's look at the takeaways. The Blue Jays had so many opportunities to blow the game open in the top of the first after Bo Bichette's home run. The Jays had runners on second and third with 1 out. They failed to score a run. The bottom of the second saw them have runners on first and second with 2 outs. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. struck out. They may have scored a run in the bottom of the third, but they could have had so much more as they had the bases loaded with 1 out. In the bottom of the fourth, they had 2 runners on with 2 outs, no runs. Their last base runner was in the 5th inning, who they cashed in. Overall, the Blue Jays were 1 for 10 with runners in scoring position, just not good enough. With that being said, it's not the only reason why the Blue Jays blew this game. In the top of the ninth, Jimmy Garcia was struggling, walking Bo Naylor to load the bases with 2 outs. Ball 4 was his 30th pitch of the outing, and even though Yariel Rodriguez appeared ready, Garcia faced Daniel Schneemann. This is bad bullpen management, and I completely 100% agree, having watched it myself. There were certainly some positives from this game. Kevin Gosman started this game pitching 6 innings of 1 hit ball with 9 strikeouts and 1 walk to bring his season ERA to 3.83. Mason Fluharty pitched a 3-up, 3-down inning, striking out a batter in the process. Both Anthony Santander and George Springer had multi-hit games, while the team combined for 4 extra base hits, one of which was Bo Bichette's first home run of the season, a positive sign. Blue Jays play the rubber match on Sunday at 1:37 p.m. Eastern, with Bowden Francis expected to get the start. So that's the game 2 between the Blue Jays and the Guardians. As I mentioned, I managed to turn the game on in, I want to say, roughly the 7th inning, or actually, yeah, seventh inning, because it was Gosman's last inning that he pitched, and seeing that he had his 9th strikeout of the game, and also seeing that he had pitched an incredible game, allowing only 1 hit. The Jays really blew this one for, they wasted, in my opinion, a spectacular performance by Kevin Gosman, especially considering that performance he had in New York. This was most certainly a bounce back for him. And the fact that they weren't able to close it out is really frustrating, at least from a Blue Jays fan perspective. This was actually my first time able to see Mason Fluharty, and I thought he did really well. I was really impressed with him, and hopefully he shows that he is a really good bullpen arm for the Toronto Blue Jays. Um, I was not impressed with Jimmy Garcia. I know he's been good so far this season, but I fully 100% agree with this article that this was bad bullpen management. Um, I don't understand why Garcia was left in to face Schneemann, considering he was up there in his pitch count. You know, he was clearly struggling, and I believe this is an issue that John Schneider has always had. You know, he relies too heavily on guys like Garcia and doesn't take him out when needed. And all in all, I just feel as though this is a bad bullpen management from John Schneider, and it clearly cost the Blue Jays the game. I'll admit, while I was watching this, and Schneemann was up to bat, and the bases were loaded. I just had a funny feeling that something bad was going to happen. And lo and behold, Schneemann hits a grand slam that basically seals the game and takes Garcia out before they replace him with Yariel Rodriguez. But yeah, definitely a winnable game for the Toronto Blue Jays today. And the fact that the bullpen let them down, obviously, as they mentioned on the broadcast, the Jeff Hoffman was not available due to him having pitched the game before. Although I do feel as though you probably could have had Hoffman in there. That's just my personal opinion. And that's just based off of the fact that Jimmy Garcia was taxed. And, he had played, this was his third of 4 games that he had been in. I don't understand. I don't see why you can do that with Garcia, but not do it with Hoffman. I know his injury troubles might have been a key factor in that, but if you're going to roll Garcia out 3 out of 4, you should be able to at least have Hoffman play back-to-back games. He's meant to be a closer, and you would most likely and the Blue Jays very well could have come out of this game with a win if Hoffman had pitched instead of Garcia. But hey, I'm not the manager. I don't run this team. So, the manager made his decision. He went with Garcia, and clearly he was out of gas and just didn't have it in this game. And it unfortunately cost the Blue Jays the win and ended their little mini win streak. But you move on, and tomorrow the Blue Jays play the rubber match. Sunday, as was mentioned, Bowden Francis expected to get the start. I won't be able to watch this game as I'll be working, but I will recap it afterwards for sure. But that's going to do it for this episode of the Inside Jays podcast. If you like this video, go ahead and hit that like button. If you're not subscribed to the Inside Jays podcast and would like to stay up to date on all your Blue Jays content, be sure to smash that subscribe button and also turn on that bell so you're notified every single time we upload a new video. You can find us on social media on Facebook, Instagram, X, as well as TikTok at Inside Jays Pod. That's going to do it for me. As always, let's go Jays, and I'll see you guys in the next video.